So Trump is doing quite a lot of whining, whether he thinks increase his chance of staying in office or for some other thing. But that's sort of on Twitter. Behind the scenes, I mean, you've been talking about, as you said, the political vandalism, I think was what you called it. And you identified the pretty scary firings, as well as, I don't know if you heard about this, but that when some of the individuals who were fired were leaving, they were given a clap out. And then apparently the White House had been wanting a list of names of people who clapped for those who were leaving to potentially fire them as well. So what are some other things that you think we would be wise to watch for between now and Inauguration Day? What other sort of vandalism could he get up to?
Well, you're seeing a classic authoritarian purge that's going on right now. Be very worried if he starts firing any generals or admirals. He does not have the support of our military officer corps. And a very important point, very few Americans seem to know. Under our Constitution, military officers take an oath to uphold the Constitution, not to follow the orders of the president. Only grunts and sailors also take an oath to follow the orders of the president. So if Trump starts firing generals and admirals, get very worried about what's going on. I anticipate that he will bring lawsuits. They may attempt to prosecute some people. That's going to be very difficult for Bill Barr to do since it could expose him to risk. I do think it's possible he can talk Mike Pence into a deal where he resigns on the morning of the 20th and Pence pardons him. That's fraught with risk for Mike Pence because committing a government act for anything of value makes it bribery and a crime. Being president of the United States, even for 1 hour, is something of value. And were Mike Pence to do this, I would certainly hope that he would be indicted, convicted, and sent to prison. And I hope he has lawyers and advisors smart enough to say, you don't want to do that, pal.
I totally agree there, but could Trump not just preemptively pardon himself for whatever might be coming when he leaves office?
No. The July decision by the US Supreme Court saying that the grand jury in Manhattan was entitled to his business and accounting records is very clearly written by Chief Justice Roberts. And I don't like Chief Justice Roberts' jurisprudence. I read his decisions, but he is an honest man. He writes opinions based on his view of the world. And that opinion makes it very clear that a president cannot pardon himself because that would put the president above the law. And remember that earlier this year, George Consovoy, one of Donald Trump's lawyers, told a federal judge in an open court hearing that he could shoot and murder someone on Fifth Avenue and that the New York Police Department could not investigate that crime. That was a serious strategic blunder. It also represents what Donald thinks. Donald believes that he is all powerful. He says, I have an Article 2 that lets me do anything I want, which tells you, as I've said for years, he doesn't know what's in the Constitution because it doesn't say that. But it's very clear that a self-pardon will not stand, and a pardon under the terms I just described by Mike Pence may or may not stand. That's one I'm not clear if the Supreme Court would say that's a sham and disallow it, or they would uphold it and say the issue here is whether to prosecute Mike Pence for improper conduct, but the pardon stands. But do expect that he will preemptively pardon a bunch of people, including his daughter and his son-in-law. And remember this, under a 1925 Supreme Court decision called Burdick, if you accept a pardon, Burdick refused one on the grounds that he was wrongly imprisoned or was innocent. If you accept a pardon, you are confessing to being a criminal. You are admitting that you committed offenses against the United States, and you lose your Fifth Amendment self-incrimination rights. So if they're pardoned, I think it'd be very interesting when we have an investigation into what role did Jared Kushner play in the murder of Kamal Khashoggi of the Washington Post, and in the rounding up of rich Saudis to collect taxes from them by MBS, his friend, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.